Here's what's coming up on today's show.
If you're relying on Social Security any more than, let's say, 25 to maybe a third of your retirement income, you're not going to have a very good retirement.
Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
I got a quote of the week here for you from Jonathan Clements. And he said, retirement is like a long vacation in Las Vegas. The goal is to enjoy it to the fullest, but not so fully that you run out of money. You just got back from Vegas, didn't you?
Yes, I had an investment conference there and spent a couple days there. So Vegas is always fun, but 2 nights is enough for me.
Yeah. I trust you did not run out of money while you were there.
I did not. It was, like I said, it was a conference, so they keep you pretty busy. So. Yeah. But Vegas is fun.
So you're telling me it was all work, right?
No, I didn't say that. I said they kept us busy.
Oh, yeah.
During the day. At nighttime, there's other things that you can do. But they have some great, there's great shows, great restaurants. Vegas is fun, but I can't do more than 2 nights at a time, for sure.
Well, I'm glad you're back in Tucson now, so... Hey, ready and willing and able to go here with another outstanding show. Now, let's talk about generational challenges. We talk about the financial challenges that different generations face. There are millennials who were born anywhere between 1981, let's say, and 1996. Talk about some of the challenges that these folks face.
I think there's a few things. I mean, student loan debt is obviously a concern. I think that may be not just for them, but for a lot of different generations.
Oh, yeah.
Home prices we've seen spike up. They've come down a little bit because of rising interest rates. So we see that, which also includes why rents are up. When home prices are up, rents are up, it seems like. And, less wealth accumulation. People aren't saving like they used to. We're seeing that. That's, again, probably across the board.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I know it's not taught in schools and things like that, which is unfortunate, but getting in the habit of saving early, you can always try to catch up later in life, but it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I've read that there is actually less wealth accumulation at their current age compared to past generations the same age. Were past generations really that much better at saving money?
I would think so. I think the difference is we live in a society where everything's, we don't worry about what's going to happen in the future. Everything's right now. If you don't have the money, don't worry about it. Put it on a credit card and worry about that later.
Yeah.
So instant gratification. And it's sad because, consumer debt right now is at an all-time high, which it was lower and, during COVID and stuff like that. But it's crept back up and it's near record highs again.
We're talking about generational challenges on today's edition of Saving with Silverman. And let's go back a generation to Generation X. And these are people between the years like 1965 and 1980. And what challenges do these folks face?
I would still say, and this is where I fall in. Consumer debt's high because a lot of these people are my clients, and then it's considered the sandwich generation. Taking care of aging parents, and I'm starting to see that. Some of my friends who I grew up with are starting to come back and have to take care of their parents or take them to doctor's offices and stuff like that on appointments and stuff. So we're starting to see some of that as well. And then, pensions don't exist. This generation, unless you're working for the government or, if you're in the military, a lot of pensions don't exist. And if you did have one, then it stopped a while ago, so it's been frozen, which means you have to start creating your own pension, which means save your money so you can draw off it later when you retire.
Yeah, back in the days before that, there were a lot of people who would go to work for, one company, work there 40 years, get a gold watch and retire, and they'd have a good pension. And by the time Generation Xers came along, that was pretty much gone. It's pretty much completely gone now, but, it was pretty much gone, and it's like the government says, okay, now you're on your own.
Well, you really have been on your own. A lot of these people that try to rely on Social Security, which was never created for that, and I've said this before, but if you're relying on Social Security any more than, let's say, 25 to maybe a third of your retirement income, you're not going to have a very good retirement, thinking that's your built-in savings and your future income. you're going to have not a very good retirement, if at all.
Well, let's move on back to the previous generation, the baby boomers, who were born between 1946 and 1964. What particular financial challenges do those people have?
I think, Social Security is obviously one of them. What is it now that for every person, there's 3 people that are drawing out of Social Security and 1 person that's paying into it at this point?
Yeah.
Which is a tough thing, big strain. Healthcare costs, which have always risen. I think they're rising more now, especially with inflation across the board. Medical inflation has always been an issue. And then, retirement. A lot of people want to retire at a certain age or with a certain amount. Some people, unfortunately, if they haven't, which we talked about earlier, haven't done a good job of saving early and getting in a pattern of saving, they may never be able to retire, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. If you want to work till you die or you can't work anymore, that's fine. The challenge is making sure that you have enough money to cover your life in case something does happen, as far as you are not able to work and you need health care or you need whatever it might be. So that's the challenge if you're unable to keep working, even if you want to, if you're not physically able to. So, it's having a plan and making sure that you've planned for the unexpected, because the unexpected does happen.
And you talked about healthcare costs that are so expensive these days, and these baby boomers who were born in 1946, let's say, would be, 77 years old now? Something like that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My goodness. And healthcare costs increase as you age, so that would make perfect sense.
Well, yeah, and people are living longer. We talk about that, but the problem with that is, which I know it's good, people want to live a long life, but it's quality of life. So people are living longer, not necessarily healthier. Yeah. They mentally maybe can be in a home or something like that. So they're living a long time, but they're not, having a quality of life that you would hope for.
Yeah, quality of life. Boy, that's the key. And another way that you can really do away with your quality of life is lying awake at night worried about outliving your money, and that's why you need a plan, and that's why I always say you should call Mark Silverman. Mark, for the folks who are on the upper end of that baby boomer generation, folks who are getting on up there, maybe they haven't retired yet, why is it so important to give you a call and get a plan together?
Well, it's just important to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row, if you will. Now's as good a time as ever. We just got done with tax season. Some people, unless you filed an extension, you usually have a lot of your documents together. It's a good time to review to make sure that you're doing everything that you can to put you and your family in the best financial position that you possibly can. So if you have questions about any of this kind of stuff, I'm happy. I'm making myself available for a 15 to 20-minute phone call. There's no strings attached, no obligation. And if it does lead to something, we can talk about next steps if we talk about maybe becoming a client and that sort of thing. But this is just an introductory call. It's open to anybody that's interested, and I'm making myself available.
You've been listening to the Saving with Silverman podcast. If you have any questions at all about your financial situation, please give Mark Silverman a call. Again, his number is 520-333-7601, or go online to savingwithsilverman.com. For Mark Silverman, I'm Ron Stutz. We'll see you next time on the Saving with Silverman podcast.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. This show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.